Are about to find out. MLG Pit CTF version 7. Now remember, there were plenty of versions back when Halo Reach first came out because they had to get rid of a lot of stuff. Sprint, Bloom, all the abilities, you name it. They locked it down and V7 became the one that was played out. There are a few little changes, and we'll speak about them after this game when there's a bit more of a downtime, because all of a sudden, Dave, 3 dead already. First OS grabbed.
Also, just really confused there by King Nick. First made an incredible play, pushing out a little bit further to take out Straight Sick. Many cases, most players would have just ducked in straight towards that OS and then grabbed that immediately. But not only did King Nick secure that kill, he didn't wait a little bit longer to get the power-up and get its full effect. So how the power-up works here in Halo Reach when you're going for this custom overshield is if you have taken any damage recently and your shields are not on the recharge or full, when you pick that up, it's not going to give you the overshield, those extra layers of shield that you want.
Ryan Uber applying a little bit of pressure from behind, but the sniper rifle is in the hands over on training side. Finds the face, but doesn't take the bullet, and that's fine. Hold it, save it, and wait for the right moment. Aggression comes out, switch to the DMR. Doesn't actually push in, that's fine when you know shield, there's no point. Live to fight another day. He will be able to move around the back of green box and give some support. There is an advancement across the map, though. Ooh. Down he goes. That's
a trade, though.
Yeah, at least. NFT, 3 of them actually in the kill feed, so that might be all 4 dead again. Sniper rifle in the hands of the red team. Check green, make sure they're making an advancement. The call-out's there. There's 2 of them, though, unfortunately. Kratos comes back, knocks him down on his backside. But the question is, will they push this? There's no real reason to, because all the grenades are coming in, Dave. You don't want to advance that. You want to be a nuisance. Get your shields back and wait for the next aggression. You've got a teammate down long haul that you can support. Watch that stage. That's exactly what he's doing. Once they come off the spawn, they will be there. Unfortunately, misses the shot, but follows up. His teammate came in with a level of support. The shields were gone. Finds the face. Rain now. Has to stay alive. Don't bother sticking your head out. There's no point. Your teammates are there for the respawn, and down he goes.
One thing I'm noticing is that this has been an absolute back and forth through the side of the map. However, it does feel like when Lux Gaming are acquiring some of those kills, they're able to move in deeper into the Infinite base and get closer to some sort of flagpole or some sort of contention. Whereas it feels like when Infinite's been getting the kills, they've still just maybe pushed up to the Needler at the furthest.
The pit can be a little bit scrappy, and I think sometimes people get a bit too overzealous, especially when you're catching them off the respawn. If you don't actually, rather than just, okay, 3 are dead boys, let's pull the flag, it's sometimes not the right time to do that. You have to be calculated and you have to be precise with the call-outs and wait for the right time to pull.
One thing I want to point out right there from Straight Sick, don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're all good.
The health packs in Halo Reach, not only do they give you back your health, as they imply, if you grab them when your shields are already depleted, it instantly starts your shield recharge. Okay. So there's some strategy amongst that when you can get into these peak fights, get into battle with somebody, and let's say you were missing a little bit of health, like you're at yellow and you didn't get knocked down before. You can grab the health pack, wait about 2 seconds, pop back out, and you're full shield and catch them off guard.
There has to be a lot to be said, especially from Reach, when your health isn't going to come back regardless of your shield. You do have to look for those health packs, and it's getting the timing right. All right, I have full shields, but I'm low on health. Once I go down, I could be dead instantly. I mean, fair play. There was a bit of teamwork there to get that kill through, but there are times as well where you have to think to yourself, do I want to make this? Is it worth my death? Because I will die so much easier than in other iterations of Halo. Now, that's going to be a clean run. No challenge whatsoever. In she goes, 1-0 on the board, and we are away in flag caps.
The reason that went so quick is Denoxide and Lux crew got a few crucial kills and pulled the flag immediately. In many cases, you generally have to get multiple rounds of slaying. You get some slays as you push in towards enemy base. You have to get some slays as you're grabbing the flag and then pulling the flag, and they just did it so quickly. They got the slays, pulled the flag immediately, and had 0 contention on the way back.
They're going for a really quick pull here. The death is down, but the flag's at least bounced across. Now the respawn can come off then and give him level support. They just need to watch which way they're going to be coming from. That's beautiful. Off the stage, look towards the training, stop the advancement, and get the counter cap. It wasn't a direct straight off the bat, but the aggression was there enough. They give up the death, they jumped it. Rather than sitting back, he died mid-air, but they got it through. Once they respawned, that was an easy capture. Now they have to be careful, though, because they're already knocking up the door. Clear out these players in your base, make an advancement. Nick's going down. Make sure you keep an eye on that OS. You want to be keeping that time. Beautiful headshot. Kratos is gone. Look towards the left, see if anyone's at green door. He's got the call out from training, and that's where you'd expect him to be next.
One thing I really liked about how Rain has been playing this thus far with this sniper is he was just staying on top of his turret for a little bit. He realizes Lux Gaming is such an aggressive squad that he can sit back and allow them to make some mistakes. You see how he's not getting over-aggressive in this situation. As soon as someone pokes up on that training, you can expect Rain to possibly even rotate all the way back towards his plat or maybe even top turret.
Assist there. At least will not be wasted on the bullets. Someone there to clean up, that's fine. Call for the support here. Your teammate should be getting that one. Player literally at the top of the stairs. That's rather unfortunate. Sniper will go down, but they've still got one up in the hands of Rain. Looks towards the 2 players. 2 bodies, 2 dead. And they have players within this, so they can make some kind of movement. Looking for the people spawning down from the courtyard. Here comes the aggression. Needs to land that shot. If he gets this kill, it'll be huge, because that allows his teammates to push on overwards. Even if this player's jumping at you, who cares if you die? Who cares if you're dead? You've stopped this. You've stopped the momentum. They focus so hard on you, the flag's just been allowed to run away.
Yep, when you're running the flag back, if your flag carrier is moving, it truly doesn't matter if you die, if you're buying enough time and keeping them held back. The problems arise is when the players that are defending the flag runner and the flag runner aren't on the same page. Generally, in most cases, both want to stop. You know, flag carrier needs to be worried about their own life, and the defenders need to be worried about their own life. Whereas the reverse is also true. If the flag runner isn't as aware of their own life and just run as fast as possible, the defenders need to be doing the exact same thing and making sure anyone that's sticking their necks out to punish your flag runner are getting punished themselves.
Throw your body at it. That's the kind of the best way to premise this. If you are on their side and that you're running the flag and he's behind you, just throw your body at them. If you die, you die. It's one of those things. Provided the flag's on the side of your map, it's going to be it's absolutely fine. Especially if you keep the sniper rifles as well. That's something you don't necessarily want to die, especially when there's 2 in play.
I agree in some situations for that, Sims, but I would say as you run the flag back, it depends on what side of the map you're on. If the flag is still on the opposing team side of the map, what's most important is that you get it back towards your side or stay alive. You cannot win a trade kill-for-kill battle when you're on the opposing side of the map. However, once you get back to your base, you can slow it down a bit. Whole point being is reinforcements are going to come quicker from which side of the map the flag is on. So if you're back on your side of the map with the flag, go ahead and trade kill-for-kill, and you're going to win the long run, theoretically.
I will say this for Reach with the snipers. Because we're in a DMR zone, it's not as easy, and with the flinch system, just getting tagged up by those DMRs causes you all kinds of problems. There's many other Halos where you can just scope in, think, you know what, he's got a BR, it's fine, we'll just go for it anyway regardless. But because it's so precision, and because you get descoped instantly, time and time again, unless you go for the quickest scope of all time, good double kill there, nice at least a refrag before going down, but I'll continue it. With the snipers, you have to find the right moments to do it, and sitting back necessarily isn't a bad thing.
Nice route right there. Ryan Noob, having gone through green the past 2 flag capture Nfinite, realizing that angle is cut off from somebody in your courtyard, decides to use that green wall to his advantage, stay covered, and capture that 3rd and final flag.
And the continuing.
Oh, we're going to 5. We go to 5 in Reach, that's right.
Yeah, 5 flag. I think it's only we've only got 1 3 flag map, right? And that's Sank. I think all the rest of them are 5.
It's been a minute. I'm used to Halo 3 pit.
It's been a hot minute for all of us, to be fair. It's been a while since casting, and to be fair, I've never cast Reach before, and it's something I've been really looking forward to. And I touched on it before this show, with the hype that's surrounding Halo at the moment. I don't care. I'm not a pessimist anymore. I do believe, and I do think we're in for a really, really good year next year. We've got what, 50 plus signups coming to this event. People like to meme on it and mock it, but 50 teams don't turn up to play a game like this, an ancient old game, if you don't have the community, and we do. There's the player base there, and it is going to come back, and I truly believe in it. We'll kind of stop on that one now because I'm ranting on, and I'm just excited to be casting Halo again, man, and I'm just excited to see what's possible for the future. We do have a flag in the bag, though. It is 3-2, so there is signs of life now coming out the opposing forces on Lux Gaming.
I was going to say, just in general this weekend, I'm so excited for so many legacy games, you know, something like Halo Reach being here. We have Warcraft 3 being played right next to us as well. I've heard they have a couple of their top pros from back in the day, like Moon out here, and I'm excited to also check that out in my downtime because that was one of my favorite games growing up.
It feels like DreamHack is kind of Halo's bread and butter. It's where it needs to be. It's an open LAN event. There's plenty of just general gamers here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a good event. I love something that's where it's Halo only, where it's specialized to be that. Like, for instance, the majors that we've had in the past. But something like this, where it's just gamers coming together, playing various video games from across the world and different time zones and everything else, you can't beat it. And Halo as an open system is really suited to these DreamHack scenarios. Being able to just turn up, and even the Biok downstairs, it's a really good environment. It's really fit for it. Rockets now moving over to the hands of Nfinite. They just need to keep on the pressure if they want to win this one. However, the best offense is a good aggressive defense, to be fair, and that's exactly what they're doing. And fair enough, he goes down with the rockets, but it doesn't matter because there's none left in the chamber at all. Long haul moving out, full shields, can take this fight if he wants to. 2 players will be advancing, needs the help and support from his teammates though, but they've also got troubles of themselves. Ducking, diving, weaving, staying alive. Needs to find this one down, which he does. Has to be careful. Someone over by the training. Comes out of green door. Now, this is an interesting one, Dave, because all these players are so focused on him. This could allow the rest of his teammates maybe to advance and creep forward.
Yeah, it's either advance and creep forward or a chance for his team to reset. I mean, if they're not close enough to put themselves in a position for a follow-up flank or to help do damage immediately to support Reliable there, it's kind of a lost cause, and it's one of those situations where sometimes you're way too far behind enemy lines, and you need to just do a calculation to say, all right, is there a chance I can take down someone with me and do a 1-for-1? Or can I make sure that 2 or 3 of these players waste so much of their time hunting me down?
That's 2. The triple is there. We've run out of time now, but he's dead again. They continue the punishment, and now they can advance outside of the base. Straight Six about to get melted with the OS, but it won't matter. They're just... I mean, what I like most about that one, Dave, they were running it and still killing them from behind. They had players behind them completely unchecked, which is really a problem if you're advancing a flag forward and you're chasing that down. If they're killing you while doing so from behind, and you just... That shows to me that communication in there. You should be mopping up players that are inside your base before you actually go after the flag.
It's communication, or it's just a wrong set of priorities. I think good teams need to know when to give up caps, especially when it's a 5-cap game. Obviously, if it's the last cap going in, like I thought earlier, Sims, you need to do everything in your power to stop that cap. However, when it's a 5-cap game, at some points you have to cut your losses. You have to say, all right, realistically, we can't stop this cap and get control back. We need to just give this cap up and get control back. But instead, what Lux opted to do is they tried to go desperation stop, and that's why you see this transpiring right now for what I hope to be the fifth and final cap, Sims. If it's 7 caps or something, don't tell me.
Ryan just in the back shooting his body. They're running it in to put it in. You just see Ryan in the back just shooting him in the head. Yep, that's a GG, and that's a win for Ryan Uben and the boys. 5-3, I think, was the end score at the end, if not 5-2, my mistake. But still, a very decisive win. And I think when you're shooting bodies like that, especially someone like Kratos, that's getting in their head, and that's setting up for a pretty good series going forward.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there must be some bad blood resting there. I'm not up to date with all the Twitter and Halo drama, but I need to get caught up.
-10, just at the bottom. Just gonna point that one out there.
There we go. Just, you know, you've got to highlight some of these scores now and again. I mean, to be fair, Ryan was at the top. He had a big neg bomb, but who cares when you are
-4, -6 or something? But
when you're throwing flags around and you're doing things like that, we have said time and time again. Yeah, we can meme on it and we can have a joke and a bit of banter about negative scores plus ratios and so on and so forth. But there are a few of these players that are completely selfless, and they will happily. It wasn't 5-0. We'll go ahead. It was a win. I mean, it wasn't that much of a win, but it certainly was a win. Yeah, there's a few players that are completely selfless, and they'll happily throw themselves in these scenarios where they'll be the one to make the move. There has to be sometimes when you have these lockdown setups, someone who's just the breacher, someone who just pushes in, open the door for the rest of his teammates. It means giving up his life. Yeah, but if it's worth it for the rest of your teammates to refrag off the back of that and move forward and advance to get the flag out or win the game or even break the setup, Ryan was kind of one of those people that does it really well.
Absolutely. He's one of those players that has that natural tendency where he can find some sort of weakness in the enemy's setup that he can make some sort of opportunity out of it. Or like you said, it may be similar to like an entry fragger in Counter-Strike where this person consistently goes in, does enough damage, or creates an opportunity for teammates to follow up and take advantage of that initial move.
All right then, Nfinite take game number 1. This is going to set up a good mentality for rolling into what will be a fantastic Slayer. We're moving to Countdown, the bread and butter of Halo Reach. This is one of those maps where you think Reach. Excuse me, you see this map and you instantly think Reach. I mean...
Well, you start off the map with a trust fight. You say, all right, everyone, are we staying here and fighting, or are we all running away? And I've had both sets of teammates before, especially in matchmaking, where you just don't trust the word no more. Sometimes you find yourself just solo fighting there across 4 people, and you just wonder what happened.
Dave, you've teamed with Strong Side. I know you have trust issues. Believe me, I know this. Yeah. Power weapons initially going in the hands of what looks to be Nfinite. Will try and find that sniper and see what it's kicking around at the moment, trying to survive and get outside. There are rockets down still in that chamber, so be able to force them up. And they also have sniper as well. Thank you very much, Richie Hines, the man with the buttons in the back. He's looking good, by the way. Have you seen Hines' physique?
He's looking great. Looking fantastic. Seattle is
must be paying well at 3-4-3.
Speaking of trust issues, to this day, I still check my shoes for marshmallows when I put them on because I've gotten used to strong side throwing marshmallows in my shoes at lands. It's just, he makes you question every part of reality.
He's just a weird kid, let's be real. Straight off the catwalk, moving on to Denok's side. There is a response over there from the street side. Moving out, doesn't have support yet. They do have players down, so they have to be careful. Like the angle, straight through the pipes. Can give Rain the support that he's needed, but not fast enough. There will be damaged players in there. There's going to be two of them. Has to be careful. One of them must have moved downstairs. But the double no-scope will be the reason that he falls down. We move on to straight 6 POV. Don't know how many bullets got left in that sniper. It might be none at all. I'm seeing a number on the side. But Rain already has him under check, and it's a problem. If you're trying to make some kind of advancement, remember with this one, with the bases, you're not after an objective, so you don't necessarily need to go somewhere. You just need to get the kills. They are in the lead. Don't give any up needlessly. That right there, what happened with the flinch, where you get shot and you instantly look away, that's the biggest thing for me with Reach. When the DMR hits you in the face, it hurts and you panic. Like, he was almost on for the complete clean kill. But then the response is instant. It's like, oh, God, what do we do? What do we do? And then you look away and you swing. Reach DMR is a very, very punishing and very cruel weapon. The players that get so precision with it and so good with it are absolutely fantastic to watch.
Yep, those Zoom battles, I mean, as soon as you lose that one shot on your opponent, they can, sometimes rack up 2, possibly 3 shots in a row before you land your next shot. So that's why it sometimes can be so dangerous, even though you saw how he was up by 2 or 3 shots to start that fight against Nick.
We'll calm things down for a second. And only for a second, because it's still a very fragile scoreline, 16-16 apiece. Straight through the vents and looking down towards S2. Remember, with the weapons, they spawn on the 10s. So 7 seconds, and they will be coming up, and that's why he's kind of watching this area, making sure no one keeps control of it. For now, where he is, if his teammates do go low door, rockets will be there, and that's exactly why straight 6 popping out. But the defense is here. The call-outs will be real. Takes him down. His teammates can pick up the rockets. Runs past him. There we go. Full weapon control. I'm not entirely sure where that second sniper rifle is. It doesn't matter if there's one up. The second one will pop regardless. You have to expect it is on the side of blue team, but the rockets are so vital. On a game like Slayer, being able to move through these streets, through the alleyways, and be able to just plow the rockets into them, break the setup, break their will, and more importantly, take any power weapons off of them, it's crucial. This is a big win, but it hasn't actually done that much to the scoreboard, Dave.
No, it really hasn't, and you have to question some of the positioning that transpired there as they grabbed both those power weapons, because you saw that one drop down to chase down the kill over at Red 2. And it's a situation like, all right, should somebody stay up at radio just to give the rest of the teammates a chance to lift up to a safe spot in level 3 rather than have to filter through all the way to the opposite side of the map in order to get back all the way up to level 3.
Scenario like that for me, he could have backed off and just trusted in his teammate to move forward. Needless deaths. It's easy for me to sit here and scrutinize and critique players, but teamwork in Reach is crucial. I can't stress this enough. And you look at someone like, the top teams just in the world in general, they will always have each other's back. They will always trust one another to be able to do the pinch and pull, I want to say. When you actually force somebody, then you move back, you just bait them into the engagement, and some player will chase you around, and then you have that level of teamwork that you can actually force them into a corner and advance. You've just seen Camo pop, they've already got it. Both snipers here on the red team side. The rockets went out earlier on, but they will be coming up in about 20 seconds time.
Yeah, before those rockets come up though, one thing I want to point out was how smart that push was from Reliable with Sniper. He saw that 3 members from Lux Gaming pushed out from Red outside and all respected the sniper over at Red Radio. And so what Reliable says is, obviously not coming to me or challenging me, and he just pushed all the way towards outside, realizing that nobody's going to poke out there and randomly give him a shot. That's such an unexpected move from the Lux Gaming side. You generally don't assume that, all right, we passed for the sniper, we're staying away from him. You're not expecting a flank from the sniper.
Gets his shields back and looks straight down in towards their base side. Vents up. Needle rifle, beautiful gun. It is wonderful when you get the shot and they get the explosion and all the needles go into it. It is a bit of fun, but generally speaking, DMR's where these fights will land down 2 players, rather unfortunate. He does step up and he does step down instantly. The grenades are going that way to hope he can catch someone Ryan moving out from outside, straight up the bench. No one knows he's there. He looks away at the wrong time, though. That
looks away. Thought he had the last headshot there.
He thought he had it,
was
right?
Trying to just deal some more damage to someone else.
Get
but
me over.
Don't worry, you got King Nick out here to clean up the mess that was left here from the Lux Gaming squad.
I suppose that goes off the back of what we saw where Kratos were actually one-shot. He just turns up at the right time and manages to completely mop up. If he stays alive here, at least gets the trade-off, it would have been huge. But by doing that triple kill, he has put his team in the lead by 3. Reliable needs to be reliable and stay alive here. Don't give up any more needless deaths whatsoever. Get up high, get together, and don't die individually. Ryan Noob will go for the rockets, which is fair. It's a beautiful little place to actually put the sniper, though. Grab it from S2, drop down to the vents and keep an eye on it. It is really clever. He didn't pan out too much. Yes, he got a kill off the back of it. Checking the radio. Nice work from there. Back. Shot goes down. We'll trade off. We're down to 2, up from 3. His teammate also falls victim, so he's still got to be aware of where those rockets are. Regardless of Ryan Noob dying or not, he did have teammates to pick it up.
And I would say, despite Lux being down 1 kill at this moment, they're still in great shape. When you have 4 sniper bolts in the hands of Straight Sick, it's a good enough equalizer. This can be tough for Reliable to break in here if he tries to go from up high. However, if he stays down low with just those rockets, let someone come around any of those corners, he can easily pick up those kills.
One thing to note, Dave, it was okay, it's finally gone down. So it was a trade-off. I saw both bodies fall at the same time. That's exactly what I thought it was. Didn't quite count on 2 players being here. Nice fade away for now to try and stay alive. Jetpack's in. Teammate will get traced. That's a nice little play to go above him. Jukes him into the battle and gets the kill. Now he can look down the street, but he's got a jetpack. Problem himself! It doesn't matter, though. The flying headshot is there. No scopes him, still hunting down more. There's someone above his head. If he gets this kill, it'll be prolific. 50 to 48.
But it pulls that back.
Woo! All right. That was fun.
You know that one has to sting, I think. Oh my gosh, as Straight Sick went down for that final kill, just barely missing that person, assuming they went down that rocket ramp and went towards bomb center, but instead hiding over in that cut or corner.
I mentioned over the rockets, though. I didn't get to finish the sentence, but it kind of showed you how much of a stalemate it went down at the end. We saw Ryan Noob die, and then we went back to the rocket player. It was a good 20-30 seconds later, and there was still 3 in the chamber, which showed you the state of affairs within the game. We looked towards the snipers. They were watching the streets. They were watching the outside ramps and then coming through the doors. The rocket guy must have just been sitting back for any pressure that was being applied from down low. Watching down low and having because you know the snipers are up high, there's only one way they can really advance onto you. You have the lead. They have to come to you. Final moments of the previous round. Unfortunately, just didn't quite catch him at the end, but what a way to do it, Dave.
Yeah, what a way, and I can't really fault Straight Sick for one secure kill on a weak player that was nearby. I mean, he's such a strong shot that he can go into a one-on-one scenario where he's up a couple shots and is going to close out that fight, but such a drastic swing right there to go from securing the game and tying it 49-all to straight up losing it.
50 to 48, final scoreline, moving into game number 3. This could be all she wrote for this best of 5 series. You're hearing the beeps in the background. King of the Hill on Nexus will be getting underway now. Nexus isn't a map I actually get often, to be fair, when I'm playing the MLG playlist, or the hardcore playlist, whichever you want to call it. I'm not too familiar with the setups and the strategies this one. I obviously know that you have your side bases, and you're going to be your side hills, should I say, that are quite important, especially when you have the power weapons in play. The sniper one's always kind of scrappy. But I think, is it fair to say, Dave, that sniper rifle, dragging it towards the base and having someone overwatch the entirety of the battles unfold, how important, how much of a priority is to secure sniper off the bat?
It's incredibly important. It's not going to be the exact priority where you're going to say, hey, we run everyone up here and then have to escort it back, because in general, you just need map control. You need people on both sides to be able to help secure that and bring it back and secure it to a specific base. But yeah, once a team has sniper over at top blue or top red, they're going to be able to withhold the other team from getting as much time, going to be able to pin down opposing members from being able to support shots. So it's just this whole slew of factors where everyone's kind of cowering back and they're not going to be able to poke out at the exact right times until they finally deal with you.
This is where we always tend to find our sniper rifle players, or sniper players, just moving off the back of it. This is what I kind of touched on at the start, looking through these windows and just having full overwatch of the map. The amount of pressure that puts on an opposing force, knowing that you are locked away from top mid, knowing that you are locked away from some of these angles, there's a lot to be said for it. Even if you're not getting the kills, Dave, with the sniper, just having map presence with it, it affects the mindset of the other team and it limits their reactions to where they can go and their movements.
Yep, it changes exactly what they do. I mean, you saw a perfect execution there from Lux to be able to take that sniper out of Nfinite's hands as they pinned them back into base completely and took advantage of Nfinite not being spread out enough. But you're absolutely right, Sims, where players can't go out in the open. They can't do the charges they normally do because there's just that split-second decision where they might just get taken out without having done any sort of damage or any real effect on the last engagement.
There's no disrespect to any of these players in this map. We want to focus on these and want to give them our time and attention. But then when you think to players who are just disgusting, Snake Bites, you Royal Twos, you people who are known for being these absolute gods with the sniper, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. You give them your face, they will put a bullet in it. And that's why it's you have to have it in your mind where these snipers could be. I think that was his own grenade that may have killed him because he had to hit him, unless it was just the body shot. He was already weak. Doubles there. Rest of the teammates can collapse onto this one. They'll keep the hill time ticking.
And right now you see Nfinite in a really strong position. Despite having lost 2 players, as long as Lux is stuck over at blue, they can still confidently grab time or hold the back of this red base and spawn their teammates. And you see, even though 3 members of Nfinite had died over the last 15 or so seconds, Nfinite's still actually in a really strong position. I would argue in the stronger position.
Several things to be said about that, locking it down with the sniper side. They at least managed to eliminate him and take him from that side of the map, so they now have a point of entry into this one. But there comes a point where you say either just nade them out, be scrappy, keep them out of the hill rather than us going for the hill, just keep them away for it, and then set up for the next one. That's what's so important, in my opinion, on King of the Hill. It's making sure you're set up for the movement, because if you're not, and the opposing team is already there waiting, they are able then to tank the time and tank you on arrival.
And we keep talking about how many times we see one of these teams get multiple kills but be at a disadvantageous situation. Nfinite got so many kills right there, but they did not block their closet, which is where we saw 2 members of Lux spawn. Now, Lux didn't really execute as strongly as they could have there. They picked up 1 kill from those closet spawns, but that's such a dangerous position to be in, is anytime your back is not covered on the hill base, you need to secure it.
It's one thing that's, and again, I'm no expert on this one, but I know it's pretty well known amongst Reach players and general Halo community. The spawns on this can be a bit funky, and more importantly, especially those closet ones, there's plenty of times if you don't have a body in there, you can have someone from the opposing side, because you don't get necessarily it will split, it will push you across the map and you get the opposing spawns, but somebody can actually literally spawn in your base next to you while you're there. So having someone keeping that in check, just having a presence, stops that from happening, but that's your responsibility. And that puts you out of different angles that your teammates then need to cover. So they have to have the communication and teamwork on point, and that's where you look towards the IGL. You go and take that spawn, you go and watch that, you go and manage it, that's your job. And if you die, then let us know, because that's where the enemy will be coming from.
Yep, that's the spot that you need to secure right away. And the reason why that one can be so difficult for teams to get on top of is it's counterintuitive to most of the map knowledge and spawns that you're used to playing throughout all of Halo. There's so many times where you're like, all right, we have our side of the map here. That means they are negatively influenced from spawning anywhere nearby here. However, that closet area is just kind of its own little island. You almost don't even look at it as part of red or blue base when you're looking at it from a spawn lens. You start to say, all right, there's red base and there's red closet. You look at them as 2 separate areas.
It's like every single Halo, every iteration has its own nuances and stuff. I mean, hell, I still remember back to the days of nading spawns to make sure no one could actually, you just get something within that vicinity and stop the opposing spawning and negate it. It is one that needs watching, and this map is for sure one of the areas that people need to be on point. 118 points to 42. Things starting to get a little bit dangerous, but still plenty of time to play with, still plenty of time to bring this one back. Kratos should be going down instantly. The revenge kill comes through, jumps up off the platform, and will be able to look towards green. As he does this, there are shots from afar. He'll be able to get the call out on there, tank his teammate up, tank him up for his teammate to maybe clear this up. And again, with Ryanu being over here, no one's focused on him, which is kind of scary. Like, 2 players were looking away from them. I didn't see anyone try and attack him. At the moment, he's been left to play with what he wants. Grenades coming from his teammates, I would assume, unless They're just aiming for the sniper and hoping that he goes for it. Now they should know he's there. He stepped out. One player's seen him. But the question is, how do they lock him down?
Well, that's the thing is, Ryan Noob was the last player alive in his team, and he just bought so much time for his teammates to spawn, get out of their positions, to help get them out of the hill. He just didn't give up his life immediately, and he did that in very interesting ways. One, he went over towards this green ramp and threw a grenade up there. Most people assume as soon as you throw a grenade up there, you're following it up to try to finish up a kill. Instead, Ryan Noob just is a distraction, just to put some fear in the person in that hill, saying, all right, somebody's probably coming to this green ramp. And that creates an opportunity for one of his teammates to come out from somewhere else and lay shots across the map or spread out a little bit more. After that, Ryan Noob just got an easy fight in bottom green, was able to finish that up. Moving over towards top gold, even his position at top gold where he stored towards the front of it. And if someone started shooting in the back, he was just going to dip out of the front. He was helping always helping his teammates across the map, giving them chances, getting players weak, just taking attention from the opponents. Just those are all the side factors that you don't really see calculating the stats of what Ryan Noob was bringing to this team during that time when he was the last one alive, or as he started off as the last one alive.
It happened about 30 seconds ago, but I really just want to touch on it. The juggling of the weapons, and I can see Shyway's nodded his head that the juggling of the weapons from Nick there was fantastic, just to cycle between the DMR, the grenade launcher, and the sniper, to actually give it to his teammate, drag it into a safety zone, so his teammate could pick it up without having any kind of attack whatsoever. Was just bloody good work. It's just little things like that that you absolutely love to see. Speaking of love to see, points on the board for the blue team. That's what we want to see now if we're going to push this further than this game number 3. Otherwise, this will be all she wrote. The best of 5 will be all said and done. Grenades going in. You get no hit markers on this one, so you need to make sure that where you're throwing them is either preemptive or it's going to be on point and on target. And if it's one thing that we know is that reach grenades are unforgiving. There's a lot of splash damage and they do a hell of a lot of damage. Exhibit A as we do move on board now. There's the Spectre back of the base. Nade comes up, doesn't hit him this time. Are they already set up though? This is the interesting thing though, Dave. You look at that hill now, it's moved. Nobody's there. Nobody is already sat into it or been prepared to move into it. And it's just dead.
What happens with these hills is the two side hills generally are setup hills. Both teams are going to kind of vie for control and get these larger chunks of times. The top middle one that you're talking about right now is more of a scrappy hill, so sometimes it is surprising not to see players in there. But in general, the goal is to secure a kill or two, jump in, grab a small amount of time. Secure a kill or two, jump in, grab a small amount of time. You don't want to just start up in the hill and start that cycle on the wrong end. You don't want to grab that hill for maybe 1 or 2 seconds, give up your position, get killed, and leave your team at a deficit, and now you're on the wrong end of that cycle.
Lux Gaming are going for the scrappy play, and that's fine. But Nfinite Hive capitalized off the kills. I saw 2 or 3 people just completely lasering that hill, not only with the grenades, but the DMRs as well, for anyone that took a single step in there. And they committed a lot of bodies there. And this is one of those times, I know we've only got 6 minutes left, but you will look and say, okay, what's the compensation here? Is it worth me committing a ton of deaths for mere scrappy seconds? Because if you do that, remember you can capitalize on time that people are dead. You give yourself up, the opposing team can also just tag you second for second.
They can if they're a very scrappy team and they know how to grab that time up. The other bigger concern is what sort of habits are you getting your teammates into? Are you starting to put panic into your team in general across the map as they always consistently feel outnumbered, and then they start to lose faith in team shot and how much control you can get, and then everyone starts to more so fight for themselves rather than fight as a team? You always have to take those factors into consideration, even though a few of those specific plays might garnish some time and you might come out ahead a little bit. You might build bad habits going into the future hills and future minutes of the game.
So let's talk about Ryan Noob and Rain, for example, here now. They went up to the hill. They tagged it for about 2 to 3 seconds as a team. They left their 2 players on this side of the map to lock it down, to get the kills. Before the hill had moved, they'd already disconnected away from it. They'd gone into their back base, and they were ready to receive the next hill. It didn't unfortunately work out because
they execute the kills.
Well, they were completely disconnected in a 2-2 scenario. They were relying on their teammates to defend that sniper side hill. Unfortunately, by not doing it and by dying, it then opened them up and exposed for the rest of the team to push through, flush them, and kill them.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that fully fell apart because I don't look at them as fully disconnected. Generally, if you have someone over on like top red or top blue, you can support fairly strongly towards green or towards snipe if the players are playing it correctly. So I'm not sure which one was overextended. Was it the players over in the center of the map that were a little too overextended and weren't in a position that they could get helped over from red base? Or was Red Base not dealing the damage they needed to? Was Red Base pushed back a little too far, and as soon as they got outnumbered, just got crushed? It just felt like everyone kind of faltered at the same time. And some moments like that, when you're fighting as a team, as soon as one player falls, other people might be overextended or overexposed, and they can no longer retreat as quickly as they needed to.
I like how Ryanoob actually overextended there. Even though he had the sniper rifle, Rain moved into the hill. Ryanoob extended, kept them at arm's reach, put some, even if it's no kills, it's just pressure more than anything. Pressure them into their base and force them to have to either run bottom mid or over on this opposing side now where you see Denoxide. And then all of a sudden, once he's done his job, he don't die. He says, okay, it's done now. We've had a good 5 to 10 seconds out of there. Let's trade up. Rain falls back. We're still on board with him. He's not dead. They've only just got Ryanoob out of this hill. So from them just playing back and forth, look at how much time they're racking up. Lux cannot get a single edgeway in here.
And yeah, it's so surprising because as they got that full clear, like you had pointed out, Sims, it usually swings into a large chunk of time. You get all 4 dead, you have full red base. It should be much more difficult for this opposing team to be able to push across the map and retake that base, and it didn't seem like it was much of an effort from Nfinite side as they just took that base over and closed out the game.
GG. Nfinite Esports, that's a 3-0 on the board. Ryanoob will be happy with that one. Fist bumps and handshakes all around. Sportsmanship, showmanship, that's what we like to see on the main stage. There we go, job done. I think it'd be safe to say I don't think Nick was playing mouse and keyboard from his POV. It looked very controlled to me.
You can tell by the lean that someone has.
Yeah.
I mean,
or just the movement in general. it's you can sometimes tell. Either way, good kills on the board here. Once again, we have one player who's very selfless at the top. Look at that. Ever so slightly negative, only so slightly, but look at the score when it comes to the hill points, 107. That's fantastic work. Kratos down, unfortunately, a neg 10 for them. But
the Spectre had most kills on